Hey guys, I am Katie from Mitza Creek Farm, and we are elbow deep in Christmas tree season. But just because we're elbow deep in Christmas trees doesn't mean that we aren't busy doing other farm stuff. It is also sheep breeding season, and we have to get everybody into their winter pens, or we did get everybody into their winter pens. So we're doing things a little bit different. Owen's bringing a load of trees down to the stand. But with the animals, we're doing things a little bit different. Last year we had a stretch of extreme bitter cold, and we actually lost power here for about 12 hours. And that makes life very difficult. We ended up having our wood stove pipes freeze, and so then that was just a hassle and a half. And so we are getting everybody condensed around the barn. So let me show you how we have this set up. This is the pen that is in between the barn and our big green shed. And we have the 2 calves that we do not want bred there. And we have our main ram Vlad and our registered sheep over here. And we also have the goats over here, but right now they're hanging out in the silo. They love it in the silo, so that works out perfect. And then over here on the other side, this is off the east side of the barn, we have the cattle. So this is our bull. And that's Coco and Patches and Milan, and Finn is way down there. And then we have the 2 calves right here. This is the bottle calf that Lily did. And then this is the other one. This is the Dexter, and that's the Black Angus. And then we've got Vlad, Sydney's in for the winter, the goats, and then our 2 Navajo churros, and then our 3 Navajo churros. These guys are all registered, and then that's the fall baby. So we ended up taking and making a 2-bale hay feeder that can be accessed on 3 different sides. And Owen and his dad and Beck mostly did this work. I dreamt it up, they built it. And so let me show you what we're doing here for hay. So we put a gate here in this fence, then that way we can let people back and over easily. But then here's this hay feeder. Right now we're having issues with the goats climbing through and making the gap big enough for our ram's horns to get through. So tomorrow we need to work on this a little bit more, because the goats, if we take this board off right here, the goats can just climb right through, but the ram needs to have something wide enough to get his horns through. So we're going to be making a V-shape feeder so that everybody can get their heads through, but nobody can climb through. So that's on tomorrow's agenda. Some of this stuff, it just takes, like, in your brain you envision it, but it takes some work to actually get the details worked out. But then on this side is the cows. Those are rail guards, like the things that go around the big corners, the big steel things. So, and these are just telephone poles that are buried in the ground. And so it fits 2 round bales, and we just open that, put the round bales in, and then everybody can eat off of it. So the cows have 2 of the sides, the sheep and the goats and the 2 calves have 1 side. Now tomorrow we are going to take and put in a round bale feeder, the other one that we have for the cows, and put down there. And then we're going to take some fencing and put on the inside of it so that people can't climb in. And then that way we'll have an extra bale in here for the sheep and the goats. Now over here, I don't know if you can see there, but there are some sheep over there. So let me walk you over there and show you what we're doing on that side of the barn. You're such a good boy, aren't you? Got an itch. Come here, Mr. Blue. I'll pet you. I'll pet you, you big boy. Hi, handsome. Coming over to get petted. Yeah. Such a good boy. So over here, at the end of the barn, we have the yearling ewes, and that is a new ram that we have. So we put them in here. We have this, we found that round bale feeders upside down, the horse ones, work perfect for sheep because they're able to eat everything really well. And we actually, this is one that was broken, so we only have 2 sides left of it. So we mounted it to our hay trailer, and then that way that gives them an extra place of shelter. They can go into the barn there. Navajo churros do not really like to go in the barn very often, and we have really found that they like just being under there for shelter, and it's working out really well. In the barn, later this winter, we are going to be building some new jugs in there. So that way, when it's lambing time, all the ewes that are in here will be able to just go in the barn and lamb, and then this will be a good place for them. Now, the cows have access to, on the other side of here, all the way over from that hay feeder, which you guys saw. You can see, like, they're over at it now, so you can see patches, but they're, they have all of that space and then all of this space, and that is half of their water trough. And what we did is we separated 2 of these cattle panels and put a small cattle panel on top of it. And so then that way we only have to have 1 water tank heater for the 2 pens, and that makes things a lot easier. This is the sheep one. We're going to have to run a heater to that one as well. We'll actually move it into the barn and put it on a thermostat and everything. But for right now, for running hoses and trying to get everything figured out logistically, since this is all new, the hard part is that it doesn't really get above freezing anymore. At night, it's down to about 10 degrees. And so it freezes quite quickly. But we are getting there. So these guys are happy eating over here. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we have a new ram. A friend of ours has a farm north of here, north of our town, probably the same distance as we are south of our town. And they have a nice, clean, beautiful herd or flock of sheep. And so we bought a ram from them, and that's him right there. He is the sweetest thing ever. And he made best friends with the yearlings right away. He is happy with them. He is loving being in there with them, with his new friends. So he is going to be our ram for the yearlings. We know that these guys won't be registered. They will actually be a mixed breed. But we wanted to get these guys bred, and we could not find another Navajo churro ram around here. And so we wanted to be able to have them bred for this year, since they are over a year old. So this is working out really well, and I'm really excited. He's got the most beautiful fleece, so I'm really excited to see how that looks. So at Christmas, we'll take the ewes out of this pen and the other pen that I just showed you, and we'll put the ram in here. So it'll be the rams, the 2 goats, and the 2 calves in this pen, and then the ewes will go over to the other pen. For me, it is really hard to bounce from pumpkin season to Christmas tree season to we have to be ready for winter, for severe winter, so rapidly. So I have to figure out more logistically next year. So it is going so much better than what it has in the past. It just is trying to make this sudden transition from and being so busy and being busy with work and kids and, you know, school, all that stuff, in addition to farm life for pumpkin patch and Christmas trees, and then farm life for having animals. is all a lot, and trying to figure out the logistics. This is our 5th year here on this farm, and we've done so much work on the infrastructure, and so I feel like we're finally just starting to get an idea of what we want it to be and what it could be. So hopefully next year we have even more changes made so that it is a lot easier. We heat solely with firewood, so let me show you something that has made a huge difference this year. We were planning on getting a new furnace installed, which would have propane and the wood boiler for heat, but we just couldn't swing it, and so hopefully next year we'll have the new furnace installed, and then that way we won't have to have as much firewood. I'd always like to have some firewood just because then that way if propane prices go sky high, we have an affordable backup. But let me show you this, which has taken a huge weight off of our shoulders. I can't even explain. This has been like a big burden to me, and I just ignore it because it was crazy, chaotic, messy, dirty, everything. And I'll just go over and show you. My in-laws have been coming over and cutting and stacking our firewood and getting this area all nice and clean. And this feels amazing. I have never put much effort into the firewood because Owen used to be a logger, and so if we needed more wood, he would just bring home a load of wood and cut it up as we go. But because our lifestyle has changed so much, we aren't able to do that anymore. And this was a big burden, and I kind of even didn't realize how much it was stressing me out. But man, look at that. That feels amazing. She even raked this. Look how nice it looks. That is huge weight off of our shoulders. This is what's left out of our firewood pile. The chickens are loving it. Going and digging through all that. And we are almost done, or they are almost done with this. And this feels amazing having this done. I have no clue how much wood was here, sitting here for at least 2 years. And it's really dry oak, and it will feel very nice to have this out of here, and this whole area will be like a yard. So that'll be wonderful. So we just have hay bales to move to over by the feeder, and a few more things outside to pick up so stuff doesn't get buried in snowbanks or under the snow. Going and picking up all of the things that just kind of accumulate in different areas. So we have a little bit more of that to do, but other than that, I feel like we are very ready for winter. We're ready for Christmas too. So that has been a huge help getting all of that done. It takes a big weight off of the shoulders, knowing that going into, or we're in Christmas tree season, that the big projects are done. We usually put the ram in with the ewes, Thanksgiving, and then we take them out again Christmas, New Year's-ish. So that is done. Everybody's in their winter pens. We just have a little bit more figuring out to do on that big hay feeder, and then a little bit more picking up out here, and we are ready for winter. All right, that is it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.